Happy October, everyone. This month, with our month ahead reading, we're going to look at the energies around you now, what's in store for you this month. And this month, we are going to tap into your ancestral line and see how you can tap into those energies and make the most of it for yourself. So stick around and we'll get right into it. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't met me yet, I'm Leesa. I'm a certified tarot consultant whose goal is to help you leverage the power of the tarot to make your life amazing. And on this channel, I do pick a card readings, month ahead readings like this one, tarotscope readings. So if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss a reading and so that you can find the next one when you are ready to look for your next bit of tarot guidance. Today, guys, we are going to do a collective reading for the month ahead for October. And I absolutely love the month of October. It's one of my favorite months. And it's definitely that time of year where I start wanting to watch kind of spooky movies. I'm preparing to kind of get ready for the darker time of the year. So it's definitely one of my favorite times. If you're new to pick a card readings, guys, understand by nature, they're more general reading. They're done for the collective. But if you're drawn to this video, then this video is definitely for you. This reading is for you. So while I'm getting ready here, you will have to tap into your intuition here in just a minute. So go ahead and kind of take a deep breath, get comfortable, slow your breathing, and kind of tap into that intuition or get into that fuzzy head space so that you are ready to go. So like I said, today's reading is all about October and what we can find during that time period. So we are going to start first off by getting some general guidance, and then from there we're going to look at, a lot of the energies that are around you, and we're even going to look at some of the things in your past that may come forward, and also your ancestral line, whatever that means to you. For some of you, if you work with your ancestors, it may be your familial line. It might be it could also be different types of ancestors. People work with different things, so I'll leave that for you to determine. But we're going to look at that as well in the reading. So, and then of course we'll have one final bit of guidance using the wonderful Moonology Oracle, and that's going to be at the end. So, if you are ready to go, hopefully you have taken a quick minute to, slow your breathing down. All right. Ooh. Okay. And what I have for you today, guys, are three different, kind of stones. I say that because the first one I'm going to show you is amber. Okay, beautiful piece of amber. Then we have rose quartz. And then the last one, I may mispronounce this, but it's calcopyrite, I think, or chalcopyrite. I am not great when it comes to pronunciations with these guys. But this is kind of neat. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got a very golden sheen to it. So there's that one. All right, so take a deep breath, breathe in and out. Which one of these is speaking to you today? And that is the reading that you're going to get, guys. So in just a quick minute, I'm going to put the timestamps below, and I'm going to have you go ahead and move to that timestamp. So we're going to start with the amber. So if you picked amber, just stick around for that reading. The other two, I'm going to go ahead and move the cards out of the way and just move to that timestamp, and I will see you there. Okay, so let's move ahead for those of you that chose the amber, and I absolutely love this piece. If you don't have amber, it's interesting because it's really light compared to the size that it is, and that's just the nature of amber. We'll just put that over there. There we go. So guys, I'm using the Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards. This time of year, I get really cheesy when it comes to October and really goofy when it comes to Halloween. I always get the sideways stare because, you know, I'm in my 40s and and it's still like dressing up for Halloween. So absolutely love these cards. Okay, so the card that we get actually for this right here, and I wanted to see kind of the overall energies that would be flowing through this month for you, and I got the card for Yule, which, you know, ignore the fact that this is a holiday and just think about the concept of rebirth. So this month could show a rebirth in a number of different ways. And remember, guys, we're talking about an overall energy. So look for that energy of rebirth as it presents itself to you this month. And what can that mean for you? That could mean things like a new job or a new relationship. It could mean a few different things. So, and definitely keep that in mind as you are moving through the month. So the way that I'm going to do this, guys, is I have a few different decks. We are going to do a tarot reading, and then at the end, we are going to go ahead and take a look at that final oracle card. But the first few positions we're going to look at just have to do with you, the internal energies, the external energies that are playing on you. I really want to look at kind of how these energies are swirling around you this year, this month, this October. And I want to look at kind of the implications of a past event and how that might have implications on you during this month of October. And of course, the energies that we want to pull forward from September. So let's see what we get here. All right, so right off the bat, and this may have to be moved, but we'll see. Okay, so the very first thing, oh, these cards are so dark. I don't know if I've used these cards yet on this channel, but this is the Black Cats Tarot, and I love these. I actually have a close connection to them, guys. I got them shortly after I had a black cat. His name was Azrael. He was amazing. And he passed away a few years ago, and I ran across these cards shortly afterwards, and I just felt the need to grab them. So when we look at the internal energies, guys, oh, and by the way, I'm just going to state, going back to, and now I'm thinking about my kitty, going back to black cats, guys, I don't know if any of you out there have black cats, or you black cat people, let me know if you are in the comments below, because I feel like anyone who has a black cat, I feel like I want to connect with you and just know, I feel like there's like a little like brotherhood and sisterhood out there for people that are just absolutely in love with those cute little baby panthers. So, all right, energy around you in October. There's a sense of returning here, guys, that I'm seeing for you, especially dealing with things that are tugging at your heartstrings. So internally, there's going to be this sense of needing to return or wanting to return. Interestingly enough, when we look at the external energies, there's also, I think there's this pull also for you to, stay put, stay in one place. So in that could be kind of I don't know which one comes first. It's like a chicken or the egg thing, right? What comes first, that pulling for you to come back, or that need or desire for you to come back? So I feel like much of what's going on this month in terms of the energies internally and externally is going to be trying to pull you back to a place that you have been before in the past, and trying to make you very secure in that space. So depending on where you are, that could be great, right? If you need some grounding, or that could be not good if you're trying to, make a quick escape. So taking a look at what we want to pull forward from September into October. Interesting. All right. So I have the 10 of Wands, guys, and I think the 10 of Wands in this particular deck is so interesting because oftentimes the 10 of Wands is a very burdensome card, but for this particular card and the way that this deck depicts it, it's less about the burden, I think, of having that we oftentimes see with this card, and more about this concept of making the most of what you have built up to this point. So the way that I'm interpreting this is that coming from September into October, you have some things that you have built up. Very likely could be passion projects or things that you've been really working towards, or things that over time have built up. You have this reserves of energy or project idea or something that is there that you need to hold on to and kind of ride that wave into October. So if you are still really excited because you had something that went really well in September, keep that going into October. But I'm seeing this idea of, you know, something where you're feeling accomplished on something and you're going to take that energy and move forward into this month. So whatever that might be, it could be something huge, it could be something small, but that energy is saying, find that, hold it as you're moving into the month of October, because you are going to need that. Now, I wanted to look at a prior event that may have some bearing on the month for you. So the question is going to be, what is this thing? What is, you know, what is being pulled up maybe from the past, or what, you know, energy residue, I guess, is coming forward for you. And I'm seeing the wheel reversed. And actually, I'm looking, I had to look again because it's like a little sea monster here that's biting its own tail. So this is going to be different things, obviously, guys, based on who you are. But what I'm seeing in regards to something in your past, that it has a definite bearing on the energies in October, and whether this is something that's going to be very overt or is going to be more energetic in nature is going to depend on who you are, obviously, because this is a collective reading, so it's hard to pin it down. But for some of you, for many of you, there is this idea in October is a great time of year to sort of resurrect things. There is something that you did wrong, or some way or another that you wronged someone in the past, and that's either going to come back to bite you publicly, or it's something that, you know, especially with the water, I'm seeing the water here at the top of this card. I could see that as being very, very internal, perhaps a sense of guilt or something where you're just struggling to get away from that. So that's one thing. I'm just looking for a couple of other things here. So, okay, so for some of you, for one of you, there is a project that you were working on, and I feel like this could be a work thing. For many of you, it's a work thing, or it's something, or for whoever this is, one or two people, it's this work thing that you were working really heavily on, either your personal project that you treat like work or something at work, and somehow or another you dropped the ball, and that's going to come back as well. That's very specific, though. That's just coming through. So keep that in mind. But for most of you, seeing you wrong someone, there's that work issue. And for others of you, I'm have this sense of lack of care for yourself. So you know, and that, depending on who you are and you know, how this is resonating with you, keep those things in mind. If you've been not paying attention to other people, not paying attention to yourself, not paying attention to your work, I feel all those things could come back. So the reason why this card is here is not to scare you guys, is to help you figure out, okay, what in the past could potentially rear up this month, and is there a way for me to be proactive with that? I'm all about being proactive. So keep that in mind. What can you do to try to prepare for that, or be ready to move past that? Okay, so let's look at some of the opportunities, something that's going to come towards you that could be very positive for you. Okay, an opportunity coming your direction. I want to look at the month ahead, just in general, in terms of the energy that you can tap into regarding your ancestral line or your ancestors. And then I also want to look at the long-term ramifications of this month. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at here. All right, so opportunities first and foremost. Okay, so first opportunity, the first thing I see when I see this card right here, and I'm trying to make this. I'm a pretty straightforward guy, straightforward person, guys, and I've got a bit of sarcasm, so I try not to have that come out all the time. If you have been trying to get someone out of your life, this is going to be a great month for you to finally do that. So if you've been trying to push someone out of the picture for whatever reason, this is a really good month. The opportunity is there this month for you to do that. Cutting people out of our lives sometimes is really important. And it could be something that's really important. Maybe a person's super toxic, or they just could maybe be that really annoying person that you just don't want to deal with anymore. Or maybe it's something like, I want to get a new job and I no longer want to see my colleagues, right? Like maybe you're going to leave them behind. So there is an opportunity this month to break ties and to move on and to leave people behind. Now, this is not a sad thing. This is, think of the opportunity piece there. Where is that helpful for you to leave a relationship in the past? And remember, guys, not all relationships, even good ones, are not meant to last forever. Some of the best conversations I've had have been some of those weird conversations that you have with someone once, and you never see them again, but you're always like, hey, I remember that person I saw when I was visiting wherever, right? So it doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean necessarily something bad, but the opportunity this month to kind of cut ties cleanly with someone is definitely there. Now, looking at your ancestral line and what energies are there that you should probably tap into this month. Oh gosh, what a beautiful card. Okay, so the Hierophant, guys, when we look at the Hierophant, I love this card. We're talking about a teacher, oftentimes a spiritual teacher or someone who just has lessons to give us, someone who's been there, someone who understands. So, wow. So for you, for some of you, this could be your parents. So I would say, call your parents up, get some advice on some things that you've been looking for. For some of you, it's not going to be your parents. It's going to be ancestors that have, passed, or ancestors that you can tap into that you have no direct, speaking face-to-face relationship with. But the opportunity to learn from your past and your ancestry and your ancestors is here. So this month, find the time to do that some way or another. And if you are not big on your own family line, and in terms of your blood ancestors, take some time to look up online what it means to have ancestors that are outside of just the humans you're related to, and perhaps tap into that. Okay, so that's a great card. I'm really excited about that for you. All right, we're going to hold this one until the end, but I want to take a look at 5 people in your life. So while I'm shuffling, guys, think about the 5 people in your life that you spend the most time with, that you're the most connected to right now. 5 people in your life, the 5 people that you have close to you that first pop in your mind. Okay, and I want to look at some of the energies around you, the things that are coming towards you that you want to, push away, the things that you want to draw in, and those people that are closest to you and how they're going to impact you. Okay. All right, so let's take a look first at some of those energies that you want to go ahead and pull toward, that you want to push away. All right. So I get the Ace of Swords here, guys. And when it's reversed like this, to me, that's a very defeatist type of attitude or energy. So there will be an energy that's going to push on you at some point this month. It could be the whole month, or it could be just a short period within that, but it's going to be a significant piece there. And it's this idea of defeat or self-defeat or a defeatist mindset or something where you're going to feel like you're on the losing end or you're missing out or something along those lines. This is telling you to push those thoughts push those thoughts away. Don't let those things get you down. It's very much going to be mental, or it's going to affect you mentally. So push that away. So when you see that coming towards you, you need to remember, say, oh yeah, that's right, Leesa told me this was going to happen. I need to find a way to push past this, because this is specifically telling me that you have this energy that's going to be flowing at you. I want you to try to knock it away. If you need to right now, come up with a plan, like when that happens, what am I going to do? What's my game plan for that? So like I said, all about being proactive. Okay. So pulling towards you, once again, we have the Knight. So what I would, I'm sorry, we have swords, excuse me. So pulling towards you this month, I would say that the message here is for you to, move, but with caution. Okay. I don't want you moving too quickly. Sometimes the Knight of Swords can be really reckless with the way that, this energy right here can be very, very reckless. So it's telling me that you need to move with caution. So before you make any major decisions, just double think them. Okay. Think about them more than once. Bring that towards you. So an energy of caution, pull that towards you throughout this month. All right, so those 5 people, hopefully you came up with those 5 people. I want to see how they're going to impact you this month. Excellent. And so we have the Strength card. That's great. So I'm seeing those people around you guys are one of those people. They are going to be there for you and helping you in terms of helping you meet your goals, helping you find your inner strength, helping you find that motivation within yourself that's going to help you move forward. That is what I'm seeing here. So those people are going to be very supportive this month. They're not always super supportive, but this month, that is what I'm seeing, which is great. So far, guys, if we look at some of the energies flowing towards you and kind of the things around you, I mean, there is a sense of grounding that's going to go here. Actually, I see a lot of that this month, that idea of slowing down, that idea of, coming back to where you need to be, things wanting to hold you and keep you tied to something. And like I said, that could be bad or good. You're going to have to look at that. Understanding that there could be some things from your past coming up to kind of remind you about themselves, and, not getting too defeatist, bringing that positive energy, whatever you have from September forward. Remembering this is a month of rebirth, which is great. But when you look back at this month in the future, Knight of Cups. When you look back at the month of October in the future, I mean, this is beautiful. Look at all these hearts here that he has coming out of this cup. And look at the cat. If you guys are not aware of this particular tarot deck, almost every card has either funny tights, a cat, or goofy hats on it. So yep, see the hats and the tights, and it's almost always a cat. So I love it. Yeah, this month moving forward for you, when you look back on it and say, okay, what about October? I think it's a recharge month. It's a time for you to fill your cup again. It's a time for you to reconnect. And I think that's interesting because I even told you this is a good month for making a disconnect with certain people. But I think it's going to be more about reconnecting with yourself, with someone either in your direct family or in your ancestral line. I think there's definitely a chance for rebirth and for understanding. So I think this is really good, guys. The energies in October look really good. One more bit of guidance for you. And I'm going to get that for you at the end. I'll put the timestamp there. Just go ahead and click on that, and I will see you there. Okay, so if you chose the rose quartz, we're going to go ahead and take a look here what you have. And you have the card of the hearth, or that idea of homecoming. So, and by the way, guys, I'm using the Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards deck. To me, this just screams October and Halloween, and I always get a kick out of using it every year. So this is what we're working with here to start. But homecoming card, guys, this is all about you taking a deep breath and staying close to home, taking some relaxed time, taking some time with family, taking some time with good food, just some good recharge time. So the first thing that I'm seeing here, guys, for you is this idea of taking time for yourself. And this whole month of October, I want you to consider that idea, how you can take that energy and incorporate that energy into your month. Let's see if I can get this lit without, there we go, without lighting everything on fire. There we go. All right, so think about that, guys. This whole month of October, I want you to consider that. And as we're moving ahead. So let me tell you about how we are going to do this particular reading. I am going to go through a few decks here, and we're going to have the tarot reading first, and then I have a card at the end for an additional message for you. And the very first thing that we're going to start with, guys, in this month ahead reading is simply looking at some of the energies that are surrounding you, that will be surrounding you in October, both internally and externally. Want to take a look at what you need to pull forward from September. That could be helpful for you. And then I also want to look at something from your past that might be resurrected this month, something that might come up that might have bearing on your month, and see what we can do in regards to being proactive with that, whether that's positive or negative. And by the way, guys, I am using, I think for the first time on this channel, my Black Cat's Tarot. And I got this deck shortly after my wonderful Azrael Black Cat passed away a few years ago. So if you have a black cat or are a black cat lover, let me know down below. I feel like there's a brotherhood and sisterhood of black cat lovers across the world, and I always like to connect with those of you that have black cats. I miss him very much. He was a sweetie. So, all right, taking a look at the energies for you in October. All right. Let's start first with some of those internal energies that you might see throughout the whole month. Okay, so taking a look at the King of Swords reversed in this particular, let me just put him upright for you momentarily. Okay, you can see he's sitting there, he's sharpening his sword. He's actually prepared. You can see here he's got a couple of skulls. They're actually preparing kind of to go into battle, or just being prepared. So for you this month, I think internally there's going to be a feeling where you might be feeling like you're not prepared, like you need to fake it till you make it type thing the whole month through. That might be something that you're feeling. Less than an expert, someone that feels as though you need to get things together. There might be a bit of a disconnect kind of going on. This idea of needing to perhaps, stay home and take some recharge time. Maybe there's some internal stress going on here. Externally, wow, Eight of Swords, but reversed. So the nice thing, gosh, I hope you guys can see that. These are really dark cards. But the Eight of Swords reversed. The nice thing, guys, is I'm seeing that whatever pressures have been put on you externally, so coming in from outside, they're going to start easing up a bit this month, which is good. So if you are really stressed out, and even if you continue to be stressed out through much of October, I think externally a lot of that pressure is going to start to be pulled off of you, or it's going to ease a little bit, which is definitely good. Pulling in from September, wanting to see what you should carry over from September. Wow, more swords. So we've got the Knight of Swords, but reversed. And look at him, he's ready to go in and cut down all of that. Okay. Also, I'm just going to show this because I think it is kind of funny. If you look, it's a horse, right? But then you look and he's got like paws, which I just think is hilarious about these cards. Okay. So the energy that that you need to bring over from September, that you want to continue to harness, and I'm sorry, sometimes I get conflicting things sort of coming. All right, so for most of you, it's going to be this idea of like a frenetic energy sort of moving ahead. If that was your September, if it was a, really busy September, that energy, you want to continue moving that forward into October. Okay, so kind of continue to ride that and go through. Okay. For some of you, it's going to be more about this idea of, I see for some of you, it's more about being helpful, overly helpful, especially, excuse me, I'm getting a really strong sense of kind of a self-help, self-care type of vibe. If that was you in September, you want to continue that moving forward. Hold that thread as you're moving forward in the month of October. Okay, so that's kind of two different things. Like I said, two different messages. So just keep that in mind. Now, let's look at something that you had going on in the past, could be from the deep past, that is going to likely affect you some way or another, either overtly or kind of underneath when it comes to the energies. Wow, okay, guys, I swear to you, I shuffle the heck out of these things. More swords. So, in the past, okay, and this is just, once again, it's a general reading, guys, so there's no way to get super specific unless something really jumps out at me or comes through. But this is talking to me about how in the past you returned to something or someone when you should not have done so. You should have left or moved on. This could be a job. This could have been a project that you knew was done and you just picked it back up again. This could be a person. This could be a place where you knew, hey, I need to move out of this town, and you didn't. So whether that move or lack of a move, I guess I should say, whether that staying put or going back to was a mistake or the right thing to do, and for many of you, I'm seeing it as a mistake. No matter what that is, that energy, whatever ripples, like in the water, ripples in a pond moving outward, that energy is going to impact you in the month of October somehow. Okay, so some of you know right now what that is, and some of you do not, and that's fine. But something, this idea of going back to something when you should have moved past it, that is going to come in for you this month, and somehow or another, that energy that is going to come back and have some sort of impact. Now, let's take a look at what positive thing is there for you, what opportunity is there for you. I also want to take a look at that ancestral line and kind of what you can tap into there. Really interested to see what comes up there. And then also we're going to look at the long-term kind of effects and your thoughts on this month once we look back on it. Okay. All right, so let's look first at the opportunities ahead for you this month. Oh, okay. Lots of opportunities. Pick one, shall you? Look at that. That's a lot of fun. So what I'm seeing, guys, is that this could just be one of those months where it could be a lot of little things, or it could be one big thing, but there are going to be opportunities for you. Oh, wow, I never even noticed this. So she's got this wheel up here, obviously the Wheel of Fortune, but down here, and there's cats on almost all of these cards in this deck, but he's playing with some dice. Do you guys see that? So the Wheel of Fortune, that idea of rolling the dice, this is just the idea of good luck. So what opportunities are there for you? A lot of them. If you see a chance, take it. Why not? Even if it seems a little out there. Okay, that's what I'm seeing, is just lots of opportunities for you just in general. The energies around you are saying, hey, just go for it. Seize whatever that is for you. Okay. Now, taking a look at what is there in regards to your ancestors and what you can tap into this month. Now, guys, keep in mind, for some of you, when I say ancestors, you're thinking just your familial line. And for some of you, you might say, I'm not too keen on my family, maybe there's a disconnect there. That's fine. I would say go ahead and look up, if you're not familiar with it, some of the other types of ancestors whose energy you can tap into or that you can work with, and consider that. But let me see here. Whoa, weird. Okay. Interesting. This card came up in a different reading. So I'm got to give it a second here to take another look at it. All right. When it comes to your ancestors or your ancestral line, and the reason why I picked this, guys, is because October is one of those time periods where they say the veil is thin, right, between our worlds and the other. And I'm going to leave it like that because it depends on kind of where you're sitting and what your beliefs are. But this is a great time to tap into your ancestral line. And there is a gift that has been there for you to take, and it has been not received either properly or at all. So this month is a time for you to kind of stop. I think what it's saying is stop and pay attention and clear that haze, lift that veil, and really take some time and sit with your ancestors, your ancestral line, the ancestors that you work with, even your immediate family, those people that are still living. What is there? What gift is there that you can work with this month? Because there is some sort of gift that is there that you don't have yet that has almost been waiting there for you to grab. Okay, so that once again could be a number of different things. But that's actually really also very exciting. And I'm really interested in what that could be. So if you work through October and then later you figure out what that is, I'd be really interested. So let me know. We're going to save this card until the very end. But right now, I want to take a look at some of the energies you want to pull towards you and push away. And then we're also going to look at the 5 people that are closest to you and how they may be kind of impacting your October. So while I'm shuffling, think about, who are the 5 people, either the first 5 people that come to mind or the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Okay. All right. So we'll come to those in just a minute, but let's look first at what energy might be coming towards you this month that you want to deflect or push away. Okay. So I would tell you guys that there is going to be some aggression coming at you, and that's the very first thing that popped in my head. Some sort of aggression coming towards you this month. Okay. Now it doesn't have to be, it could be all month, or it could be just one incident. And when I say aggression, I'm just meaning something that's like directed at you that's very overtly kind of negative and, obviously pushy. So something that's coming towards you that's going to be kind of overly aggressive. The reason why I pull this up is because I really want you to be proactive. So I want you to think, okay, whenever this is coming at me this month, how am I going to deflect that, right? The idea is to try to get rid of this card, to push this away. So those aggressive energies coming at you, this could be another person. This could be, it could be yourself, honestly. Sometimes these things are really internal. It could be an illness. It could be any of those things, but something pushing up against you personally and, trying to hold you down, push you down, whatever. So look for that energy when you see it coming. Have a game plan now. Think, how am I going to try to combat that? But when you see it coming, know, hey, it was always coming, and it's just your job to try to find a way to deflect it, push it aside, minimize it. Okay, but I definitely see some aggressive energy coming at you, and especially things that try to belittle you or tell you that you are not enough in some way or another. I see that coming through. So come up with a game plan now. How are you going to push that aside? Okay. What you want to pull towards you is clarity of mind. Anyone feeling fuzzy-headed this month? I know, given when I'm filming this, sometimes I feel like that quite a bit, especially this particular year. But you want to bring this energy of clarity into your being and into your mind That idea of being able to make good decisions, to make solid decisions, being sound in your decision making, okay, and not waiting too long when it comes to making up your mind on something. So that is something that's there. That energy is going to be coming towards you this month. You want to grab onto that. Now, going back to those 5 people, so hopefully you have those 5 people in your head. I want to look at how they could be impacting you this month. Okay. All right. I haven't used these cards in a little bit, guys, so I'm just really enjoying the imagery when they come up again. Okay. So 2 things here. Okay. Number 1, some of the people, this is going to be true for some of you. Now, when I say the 5 people closest to you, it doesn't mean all those people. It could be one of those people or some of those people. But for some of you, you have some people around you that are going to be doing some really stupid and boneheaded things this month, and they're going to be dragging your butt down with them if you let them. So some of you are already thinking of one of those people, like, oh yeah, it's going to be that person. It's going to be that person. Okay, but someone's going to do something boneheaded and could potentially really pull you down this month. So that's one thing that could happen. That's one indication that I'm getting. The other one is just a more general concept of people kind of trying to keep you from perhaps reaching your dreams, or even the flip side, encouraging you to chase dreams that they know are not good for you or that are not going to be attainable. So I'm seeing one of those kind of 2 things there when it comes to those people, those 5 people. So just keep that in mind. Once again, knowledge is power. So knowing what's coming can be really, really helpful. So when you progress through October and we look back on it, in the future, how are we going to look at the whole month? Okay, so I am seeing, guys, for you that the month of October, when you look back on it, you may feel as though you walked away leaving something on the table. Okay, so there are some opportunities to be had here, right? We mentioned that, and maybe you just have too much going on. Maybe there's just a lot of stress here. But I feel like when you look back on it, you're going to be a little disappointed, and that could be for a lot of different reasons. But you're going to be like, man, something was there that I didn't seize, or was just not even there for me to grab, some sort of opportunity that was not there. And that could be something totally out of your control, guys. My goal is to help you say, okay, well, that's the possibility. That's what's coming. How can I combat that? And with that being said, and I think there's a lot of guidance here, guys, in regards to what you can, what's coming towards you and what you might be able to do. I love this idea of there being a gift there for you, just you have to reach out and grab it. And remember this whole theme of homecoming and that idea of taking a break and resting, which I think is probably a good idea for many of you. But let's take a look at one last bit of guidance. We're going to use the Moonology deck for that, but that's going to be at the end of the video. So just pop over to that next timestamp and I will see you there. Okay, so moving on to those of you that chose the Chalcopyrite, I think is how it's pronounced, and forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. Okay, really neat, very heavy, as you might expect. I am using, by the way, guys, the Witch's Wisdom Oracle deck. This to me just screams October and Halloween, and I'm one of those people that still nerds out over Halloween, just huge on that. So absolutely love anything that's just over the top Halloween. And for me, for whatever reason, that's how these cards feel to me. So this first one is going to be all about a general theme for the month in terms of the energies coming in. Of course, we're going to look at some more specific things, but let's look at the very first one. And we get the card that represents the holiday of Beltane, which deals with fertility. So I see for you for this month, the opportunity to create. There's a lot of creation energy for you in the month of October. This idea of laying down seeds and having those seeds create something or come to fruition later. So think about this idea of creativity, of fertility. What is there that you can create moving forward? This is a great month for that. And let me just give you a little bit of a rundown, guys, of what we're going to do here so that you know. We are going to do the month ahead spread here. I'm going to use 3 different tarot decks to go ahead and do that for you. We're going to look at some very specific things. And then when that is done, I have 1 card from the Moonology deck that we're going to take a look at as well. And we are going to first of all look, guys, at the internal and the external energies surrounding you in the month of October. We're also going to look at something that you have done in the past, an action that you've had in the past that is going to basically be resurrected and place some bearing upon you this month. And then also we want to take a look here in these first few cards at the energy that you want to pull over from the previous month. So what in September do we want to make sure you are carrying over? And by the way, guys, I just want to mention, because I haven't used these cards before, they're a little dark, so hopefully you'll be able to see them. But I wanted to ask, I am using the Black Cat's Tarot here. I actually got this deck shortly after my beautiful black kitty Azrael passed away a few years ago. I saw these and I just had to get them. So I was curious if any of you are black cat owners or are owned by black cats, let me know. I feel like there's a strong affinity from those of us that have had a black cat, that we just love black cats. So if that's you, let me know. I would love to be able to connect that way. So let's look first at the energies internally that are going to be surrounding you in the month of October. Oh, wow. Okay. Guys, man, I think it's always interesting when cards come up multiple times, even though I've been shuffling like crazy. I've been seeing a lot of swords for a lot of people, which is just interesting for me because it tells me that even, doing a collective reading, there's just, when I see swords, guys, it can mean a lot of things, obviously, but just this idea of battling things or dealing with a lot of mental stuff or mental fogginess, or all of those things are kind of coming to the forefront. So the month of October for you internally, look, I got a couple of things here. For some of you, it's going to be really fast moving. Okay, lots of fast moving stuff going on. Also, if you see here, there's this idea of having to battle, okay, and kind of fight through stuff. So there's sort of a fighting energy here as well. So, and it could be both of those things, but more likely it is one or the other for you. So the general energy is kind of swirling around internally for you during the month of October. It's either going to be kind of this wanting to fight and push through something, or it could be just this strong energy in terms of activity moving forward. Externally kind of pushing in on you or something that's affecting you. Actually seeing some withdrawal from people around you, or complications with relationships with people around you. So keep that in mind, because that's not always something that's super positive. Typically, we would prefer to see the 3 of Cups upright. So this is telling me that, you might have a falling out with someone around you or arguments with someone around you. It's really going to push on you this month. It may end up leading to some of these internal kind of, internal issues or battles or whatnot. But yeah, fast moving energy, battling energy, and then this idea of having complications with relationships. So that could be romantic, it could be at work, it could be any of those things, but keep that in mind and think about how can you, even now prepare to combat those things or try to balance those things for you. So looking at the past month, what do we want to pull ahead from September as we move into October? What can you harness? Oh, fun. Okay. So this card is this idea of being realistic with your dreams and having your dreams in your mind and pulling them back down to earth to a place where they are reasonable and make sense. Okay. So You know, maybe you say in your mind, I wish that I could, I don't know, I don't know. For some of you might say, I wish I could be a, billion-dollar, in sales author or novelist. Okay, maybe that's out of your reach, but maybe you could start a blog. Okay, so that's a good example. So there is this idea of taking some of those dreams and ideas and making them a bit more grounded and doable. So that idea from September, now that could have pervaded your whole September, or it could have been just one thing, but this idea of grounded dreams, dreams that make sense, I want you to take that and pull that into October. That is something that is saying, hey, pull that forward, move that ahead, because that's going to serve you really well this month. Now let's look at something that is you've had in the past, either recent or deep past, that's going to come back and kind of be resurrected for you this month. October's it's that time of year where things oftentimes end up being unearthed. So taking a look, oh, okay, this is good. I like this. So, oh my gosh, and I just realized, look, the sun right there, it has cat ears. That's hilarious. Okay, so what have you done? Okay, and this is just going to be something that's going to have bearing on you in October. What seeds, speaking of seeds that were planted, okay, what did you plant in the past in terms of a project, a long-term project, some sort of hobby that you had? Could be career-based if you're really passionate about your career. What have you planted in the past? Okay, it could be recently, it could be a while back. Something that you have planted in the past is going to come back and is going to really impact you this month. Okay, so keep that in mind, kind of moving ahead. What is that thing? And that's going to come back. Now, I wish I could be more specific, guys. It's hard in a general reading, or I'm sorry, collective reading to do that. So just think that in mind, look for that thing, because it's going to come back and come forward for you. It could provide some sort of opportunity for you. Okay. Speaking of opportunities, guys, I want to look at what opportunities you have this month. I lost a card. Okay, what positive thing do you have coming towards you this month? I want to know, looking at your ancestors, what you should tap into energy-wise with your ancestors this month, and then also kind of what the long-term ramifications of October are for you. Okay, so first, let's take a look at some of the opportunities that are going to present themselves to you. Okay, I love this card. And if you guys are unfamiliar with this deck, there's always a cat. Look, there's another black cat, but it's almost always a cat in these cards. And there's even one in the back, I think. Yes. Okay. Wow, lots of things with this card. All right, hold on a second. Okay, so for some of you guys, this is just simply going to be that idea. Wow, okay. I'm going back to this fertility piece again, and I'm sorry, I've got a few things that are kind of popping up here. All right. For a couple of you, this is really an awful lot about being able to take something and make shape with it, preparing ideas or preparing a plan or preparing something and getting ready to push it out into the world, but not quite there yet. There's going to be an opportunity for that for you. For some of you, I'm actually seeing a person come into your life that is someone who's wise or can give some wise counsel. And I don't normally see that with this card, but that is definitely coming through. So for a couple of you, I'm seeing that. And then for a few of you, I'm just seeing an idea to really tap into your intuition and maybe make a decision on something that you've been waiting on, but you've been trying to make up your mind or whatnot, and this month is going to be the month for you to be able to do that. Holy criminy, I just noticed all the books behind her. Okay, interesting. All right. So that's a few different things there, guys. Lots with that card this time. Wow. All right. So this card, I wanted to look and see what was there that you can tap into that are coming from your ancestors. And for those of you, depending on kind of what, how you live your life and what you do, for you, your ancestors could simply be your family. It could be your living family. It could even be your deceased family. For others of those, for some of you out there, you may not feel a strong connection to your family or your ancestral line, in which case I would encourage you to look at some other forms of ancestry that you can tap into. It doesn't just have to be the humans you were born into, bloodline family ties with. Okay, so, but looking to see what is here for you and what opportunities you have, what you can tap into. Okay, so what I'm seeing here for you is that you have, in some area of your life, you have something that has been either on the straight and narrow or you've been on a very particular path. And there is the opportunity for someone in your ancestral line or one of your ancestors to help you in regards to breaking out of that and moving away from perhaps what is a rut, or even changing your thought process on something and allowing you to move in a different direction to where you feel more comfortable or is more beneficial. Actually moving to something new, guys, is not always very comfortable. A lot of times it's very difficult. But there is this idea that you are perhaps on a particular path that maybe is not the right road for you, and you have the opportunity to tap into some guidance that is going to help kind of move things more in the right direction for you, which is great. Okay, we're going to hold this one until the end, guys, but right now I wanted to look at some of the energies that are coming towards you that you want to push towards, push away from you, and some that you want to pull towards you. But I also want to look at the people around you. So I want you to think right now about 5 people that you have in your life right now. And these could be the 5 people you spend the most time with. These could be 5 people that, the first 5 people that pop in your head that you regularly see. But think about that while I'm shuffling, because I'm going to ask you about them in just a quick second here. Okay. So energy that is going to be coming at you at some point in October that you want to push away. Okay. So let me see here. Let me make sure it is focusing. All right. You are going to be faced at some point this month, and the energy surrounding the 2 of Cups, guys, to me oftentimes deals with partnerships that are not beneficial. Okay. And that could be romantic. It could be work related. It could be anything where you're signing on the dotted line, any contracts that you have, any relationships that you have, emotionally or whatnot. But this has to do with that idea of a relationship or a contract or something along those lines that is not super beneficial. Something is going to come at you this month, and this could be like a relationship over the whole month. It could be one thing, one opportunity where, you're asked to make a partnership or a coupling of some type. Something's going to come at you that's just not a great idea. You want to avoid that thing. So keep an eye out for that, because I'm getting a sense here that something's going to come at you that's just not a good idea, and you're probably going to know it, but you're going to feel pressure to move on it. Okay, so telling you that right now, keep an eye out for that and avoid it if at all possible. Okay, or try to mitigate the damage there. Something you should pull towards you. Okay, so have the 10 of Swords here, guys, something that you want to pull towards you, that energy. So what I'm seeing with this 10 of Swords oftentimes is a card of kind of being done, and sometimes almost feeling almost defeated in a way, but something being done, being completely finished. And with this particular card, I almost get the sense of having the sight and the ability to know when something is completely finished, know when it's time to move on. Okay, so that is what the energy of this month, I think, this is going to be flowing through either the whole month or at one point where you will get the insights that something you are doing or something that you are part of needs to come to an end. It just needs to finish. And this is a good month for you to be able to cut ties or know that that thing is done, be aware of that, and start making movements to moving past it. Okay, start making plans for that. So that's good, getting some insight on something. Now, hopefully you thought about those 5 people. So let's see kind of how those 5 people who are closest to you or who you thought of, how those are going to impact you. Okay, so have the 4 of Cups here, and what this means for me with this particular card and the way that it is presented is I'm seeing that the people that you chose are either going to, and it could be both, but emotionally going to be very supportive for you. They're going to be there, you know, maybe you have a number of instances where you're just feeling down or you're struggling emotionally. They're going to be for you time and time and time again. They're going to be there for you this month. There's also that idea of bringing something to you in regards to a message or a solution. And that's the other one here. So depending on kind of who you are in your situation, of course, once again, it's a collective reading. But those 5 people, either very, very supportive emotionally, or there could be this idea of a solution where you're going to find that solution. Someone's going to bring something to you, okay, which is great. Now, so guys, so far when I'm looking here, you know, I'm seeing. Let me see here, Cups. I thought for a second that was the 2, and I was going to say, wow, that's really weird. I'm seeing, you know, got a few Cups here. Nothing overly much. I just wanted to see kind of the patterns that were playing out here. But in general, guys, I think one of the things that's really interesting, the opportunities I see for you, you know, especially with these cards here, this idea of being able to kind of move yourself onto a path that's a little bit better for you, making some decisions about maybe what's right and wrong for you. I think that's excellent. Let's look and see, when you look back on October, you know, a few months from now, what are you going to think about it? What is that going to look like to you? Okay. Well, this is such a funny card. Oh, almost dropped it. Did drop it. I always like this one because look, there's these witches just surrounding this cauldron that's just bubbling over, and all these cats down here at the bottom. So 5 of Wands reversed. So gosh, month of October, when you look back on it, guys, I feel like it's going to be this month where in some ways you're going to feel happy that it is finished. I feel like some of you are going to be actually moving out of a lot of drama in your life and kind of moving past that, getting away from that. Another group of you is going to be just dealing with moving away from conflict, perhaps in the workforce or something kind of project related there. I do, some of you, I think there's a missed opportunity that you're going to see with this, more kind of friend related and missing out on kind of friends. I see something in regards to that as well. But I have one last piece of guidance for you guys. We're going to have that at the end of the video. So I'm going to have you go ahead and just slide to that, and I will see you there. So one last bit of guidance for you guys. We're going to take a look at the Moonology Oracle. And if you haven't already done so, guys, leave me a comment below. Let me know which one of these stones you went with and if this resonated with you. Would definitely love to have you around for next month's reading as well. But let's take a look at one last bit of guidance moving into the month of October. By the way, guys, if you haven't looked at your tarotscope reading for the month, those usually come out about a week or so before the month ahead readings, just because of the way that the zodiacal calendar works. So be sure to check those out. I'll definitely put the link for that up above. Okay. All right. And the card we get is the new moon in Scorpio. And Scorpio, guys, is a really interesting zodiac sign because it deals a lot with that really deep, deep water and working, especially this one, working through your fears. You know, so especially new moon. So new moon in Scorpio, guys, talking about going really deep emotionally. So I think the message that we're getting in October is to work through your fears. And I did see in a lot of these readings, guys, there were things that were really positive and there were things that were like, hey, this thing is coming up. Be ready for that. So this is simply reminding you, hey, yeah, we all have things that we're going to fear, that we're going to worry about, that we're going to be concerned about. Work through those things. You know, come up with a game plan today. What can you do to prepare better for the month of October? And that's it, guys. Like I said, if this resonated with you, go ahead, hit that like button. And if you like this type of video, be sure to subscribe, click the bell that you're going to be able to see so you can see when the next one comes out. And as I said before, this is a more general reading. So if you're looking for something a bit more specific, I would love to do a personal reading for you. Just go ahead over to my website and hit me up there. The link is below. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you have an amazing October, and I'll see you next time.